If you're watching this video, it means you have a presentation tomorrow and you have three emotions that are going through your head. Firstly, you are so frightened that you're going to be judged by the people that are going to be in front of you. Secondly, you feel like you're not quite smart enough to do this presentation. And thirdly, you are really not looking forward to people telling you to speak louder because usually when you are speaking, your voice is too low. If any of these three emotions relate to you, you're in the right place. Hello, my name is Brenda Chadampara, and I'm the creator and founder of Public Speaking Masterclass. Welcome to this video. I help professionals develop speaking confidence and articulation that helps them to stand out and get promoted wherever they go. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe below so that you get wind of every video that I produce that is going to help you in your endeavor to overcome any fear of public speaking you have, but also make you an effective speaker wherever you go. If the thought of giving a presentation at this very moment is giving you anxiety and making you just groan with the thought of having to stand in front of people, I'm glad you're here. This is where I help you to be prepared and really feel strong for the presentation that you have tomorrow. I'm going to help you to understand that it's possible for you to not only get through your presentation, but to actually come out of it feeling stronger and happier that you did it. Since presentations are becoming a requirement for you as a college student, but also in your work, it's really vital that it becomes something that you don't keep running away from. It actually can be something that is really helpful to your college life, but also to your career success. And I'm sure most of you know that, but it doesn't always mean that you feel good about it. So in this video, my goal is to help you to actually feel differently and to feel stronger mentally, emotionally, and physically for your presentation tomorrow. Because when you get into that presentation tomorrow, you will not be the same person. You will be the person who is now ready to face any audience and to know that they will be successful in how they're going to deliver their talk. So if you're ready to get started, let's go for it. The day before your presentation, which I'm assuming is today, make sure that a few hours before you go to bed, you exercise. Do some sort of a physical activity because that will actually help you to calibrate your emotions of feeling nervous and anxious. Normally when you're feeling that nervous and anxious, your cortisol levels are going to increase, and that is actually going to make you even more stressed out, and it's going to mean that you are filled with inflammation. And not only that, it also might mean that your brain is a little bit more foggy when you actually have to give your presentation. So how do you combat that? You make sure you do some sort of a physical exercise that feels good to you, whether it's running or walking or swimming or Pilates or even taking your dog for a walk. All of these physical activities will help you to reduce your cortisol levels. As you're reducing your cortisol levels, you are increasing your endorphins, which is your feel-good hormones. And those are the hormones that you want to encourage in your body as you prepare for your presentation tomorrow. The second thing to do is to practice your presentation. I am sure that leading up to your presentation today, you have been practicing as you've been preparing for it. If that's the case, for this night before, practice just once and at the most twice. You do not want to over practice, because if you practice too many times, it will actually start to stress you out again because you're starting to overthink your presentation. You just want to get your body and your mind in this position of being ready for it tomorrow, as opposed to you regurgitating things in a way that's actually making you more nervous. The best thing you can do for yourself is to stand and imagine yourself as if you are in the room that you're going to be speaking in. Is it a big conference room? Is it a conference room that is much smaller, that only accommodates 20 people? If you can picture yourself in the size of the room that you're going to be speaking in, you are going to find that you will know how to gauge the level of your voice and how big to make your voice. If you know that you are going to be speaking in front of 1,500 people, that means you have to carry your voice to the last person in that room. Remember, The reason why people call out to you to say, speak louder, is because they cannot hear you and they genuinely want to understand what you're saying. If you are able to preempt any calls during the presentation of people calling you to speak louder by practicing your voice projection, you have already won. So take it seriously. Make sure that you really project your voice as much as you can in your room so that when you are on stage, you are more than ready to deliver your presentation in a voice that can be heard by everyone in that room. Now, as you're picturing yourself in your room, make sure that you use gestures and you vary the tone of your voice. Even though you're in the room by yourself, it's important that you start to train yourself as if you are speaking in front of real people. So do all of the things that you would normally do in your presentation to bring life to it. Because the more you are able to do that by yourself, the more you'll be able to do it on stage. A really good way of thinking about how to give your presentation powerfully is to think about you telling your friends something great that has happened to you. You are about to deliver great news to your friends about something. Whenever you are doing that, how do you normally sound? You are excited, you are animated, you are thrilled, and everyone who is listening to you wants to hear more. If you are able to carry that level of enthusiasm and joy as you are speaking, you're going to find that the nervousness that you're feeling will actually start to disappear because that excitement about the great news you're giving is going to take over. So of course, that means your presentation is the good news. Use it as a way of recognizing that I have been given a chance to share something great with these people and I should give it my all. The more you are able to see your presentation as I'm giving great news, you're going to find that it's no longer something that is daunting and overwhelming you. It's actually something that you are in charge of and you want to deliver well. So now that you have prepared to give the great news, make sure that you get all of your materials together. Print out your handouts. Your laptop is fully charged. Make sure that you have a backup USB of your PowerPoint or presentation. Gather everything that you know you will need for the following day and put it all together and put it in one bag. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you are not scrambling to find anything. It's already well packed and ready for you. The more you are able to be calm the morning of your presentation, the better. The other thing you want to put in your bag is a bottle of water. That water should be something you drink before your presentation, but even during your presentation, you can take it to your podium so that you are able to not have a dry mouth or anything of that matter, and you are able to pace yourself as you talk. Now that you have exercised, you have practiced your presentation once and at the most twice, you have packed all of your materials, think about what you're going to wear. Take it out and lay it on the bed. Is it clean? Is it creased? Are there any things that need to be mended on it? Do you need to iron it? The more you feel good in the clothes that you are wearing, the more you will feel empowered on stage. So take it seriously. Make sure that every outfit that you're wearing, first of all, is appropriate for the occasion. And secondly, you feel good in it. Put everything together so that once again, in the morning, all you are doing is putting on everything on autopilot, keeping yourself calm, and you're going ahead for the presentation. Now, the fifth thing after you have decided your outfit is make sure you set your alarm so that you do not oversleep. Give yourself enough time to wake up and to have a light, protein-packed breakfast that can settle your stomach but also give you some energy. You never want to wake up and have a really heavy breakfast before a presentation because you will find that you will actually feel sleepy and slumpy when you are giving it. Now that you have everything set up, the last thing you want to do is to go to bed early. I'm sure we all know that, but it's good to be reminded that go to bed early, no matter how stressed or anxious you might be feeling. It's better for you to sleep well so that when you wake up, you feel stronger and more refreshed for the speech ahead. So to recap, the physical things you want to prepare for your presentation tomorrow is to make sure that you exercise, practice your presentation, pack all of your materials, including water, prepare your outfit and add some color to it if you can, set your alarm, and maybe also prepare a light protein-packed breakfast, and finally go to bed early. All of those things are going to help you to be restful and calm and prepared for your presentation tomorrow. Okay, now that we have talked about the physical preparation of your presentation, we start talking about the mental preparation for what is to come tomorrow. I believe this is actually just as important as the physical aspect of how you are getting ready for your talk. Before we get started, I need to ask you this one question. Do you want to get over your fear of public speaking? If you do, comment in the comment section below, because you need to establish, first of all, that you are serious about not letting the fear of public speaking become the thing that's constantly plaguing you. You have to come to a place where you say no more. I am not going to let this fear defeat me. Instead, I am going to conquer this fear of public speaking. And if you're ready to say that, say yes in the comment section below, because that way you will know that mentally you are saying to yourself, I'm going to be ready to give this presentation and I'm going to do it well. These are the exercises that I have used with my clients. And I mean, I have used them with kids who were 6 years old, and I've used them with adults, and I have seen incredible results in both cases. So that means if it works for such a huge age range, it's going to work for you as well. All it takes from you is the commitment and the determination that you are going to be successful in your speaking. So the first thing I would like to encourage you to do is to take a piece of paper and to write down every emotion you are feeling about giving your presentation tomorrow. Put everything down, every thought that you are having, whether it's they're going to laugh at me, I am going to go blank, I don't know what I'm saying, I'm not sure they'll like me. Whatever emotion or whatever thought you're having, put it all down, because I want you to have that picture in front of you. It's important that we face all of the emotions that you have been encountering so that we deal with them first before we get to the positive aspects of how to make yourself mentally and emotionally stronger. So now that you have this list in front of you, all of these emotions, all of these thoughts have been the things that have been plaguing you. It's almost as if they have been like arrows coming towards you all the time, and they've been jabbing you and your self-esteem. So what do you want to do about that? Do you want to keep the arrows in your mental and emotional being, or do you want to get rid of them? If you are ready to get rid of them, you have to recognize that all of these emotions have been imposters in how you have been seeing yourself. They have been trying to stop you from seeing the value and the worth that you carry within yourself. And it's time that they go. If you're ready to let them go, you have to do something physical with that piece of paper. That means you can take a pair of scissors and you can chop up the paper, you can just tear it apart, or you can even crumple it up, throw it on the ground and stomp on it. Do something physical that establishes a sense of saying that I am no longer going to tolerate seeing myself this way. It ends today. Because when you do, you are putting a boundary line where now all of those emotions are left behind, and moving forward, you are going to choose to see yourself differently. Can you see how that is so important to you moving forward in your public speaking career, but also just in your own personal life and how you see yourself? So if you have already stomped out that paper and you have torn it apart, and now you have this clean slate of establishing who you truly are, let's talk about who that is. First of all, you were created to shine. You were created out of love. You were created to be someone who has a purpose in this life. The fact that you were born means that you have something valuable to give this world. You are not made and put into this world for no reason. There is no way that is the case for anyone, no matter where you are in the world. You have a purpose and you have value and you have worth. And you need to walk and understand that that value and that worth is not only important for you to live in, but also for you to impart to other people. So how do you start to see yourself differently? First of all, I would encourage you on a new piece of paper to just write, I am loved. I am valuable. I am treasured. I am seen. And I am heard. Start with that list and start establishing a sense of knowing that you do have value and you do have something worthwhile to see in yourself, but also to give to other people. When you start to speak and verbalize this list to yourself, you are putting a new blueprint of your identity that now does not include all of the negative things that we talked about. I want you to then think about the gifts and talents that you have. Think about the small things that you know you are good at doing and put all of those down as well. And continue to add to this list as you go along. When you start to believe all of those things on that list, you are not going to become more arrogant. You are going to become more confident. And that's what I am encouraging you to understand. When you start to see yourself that way, you are going to find that the reasons why you are feeling so daunted about public speaking are no longer there. You now know that you have something valuable to give to other people, and therefore that means when you are on stage, you are going to present yourself as a true gift, because that's what you are. You are a gift to this world. So take that to heart and really dwell in it. Think about all of the things we've just talked about. You are treasured, you are valuable, you are worthy. You deserve to be seen and heard. If you're starting to see yourself from that aspect, you are going to again see yourself being so much more ready to speak when you are on stage. Now, I promised to share with you a story of a little girl that I coached with these same techniques when she was around 7 or 8. Now, for the sake of keeping her identity private, I'm going to give her a pseudonym. In this case, I'm going to call her Rose. Now, Rose was a very quiet girl. She was a lovely girl, but she was very quiet. And it was even hard to hear what she was trying to say most of the time. We talked about all of the things that we've just mentioned in this video. And I had asked her, how do you want to see yourself? Give me one word that you would like to see in yourself. And the word she gave me was, I want to be brave. And I said, okay, good. So that means from now on, we are going to see you as Brave Rose. And she really took that on and she believed it. And this is after all of the exercises that we had just done. So she went along and she practiced her public speaking skills along with always reminding herself of who she is. Because we also created a list for her to speak over herself that she would remember who she is. And she really believed it and she was determined to be a different person. So a few weeks later, in fact about 5 weeks later, we had a showcase and she was able to get on stage and recite a really funny poem in front of many family members and friends for the showcase. It was such an achievement to watch, but I think more than anything, she felt so proud of herself because she had chosen to believe something different about who she is. Now, her story doesn't actually end there. There's a little bit more that I will share with you at the end of the video. So let's continue with what you need to do next for your own preparation for your presentation tomorrow. Now that we have eradicated all of the rubbish ways of seeing ourselves and decided that we are going to have a new blueprint for how you should see yourself, let's think about one word that you would like to picture yourself as when you are on stage tomorrow? What could that one word be? You choose. It could be strong, it could be powerful, it could be calm, it could be happy, it could be in charge. Whichever one you choose, hold on to it and really start feeling yourself as that person. The final thing to do after you have chosen that one word is to picture yourself again in the room that you are going to be speaking in. Don't just picture yourself as you normally would, as the frightened, overwhelmed person. Now you are a different person. You now see yourself as valuable, as worthy, as treasured and loved. And not only that, you are also seeing yourself as someone perhaps who is powerful, if that's a word you have chosen. Imagining yourself in that room. How do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel present? Look at the people who are in front of you. Are they reacting to you as if you are small, or are they really enthralled because you are speaking as someone who is so in charge and so ready to give this presentation? You will find that if you visualize yourself as the powerful or the strong or the calm person, that's exactly how you're going to be in that room. It's really important that you practice physically who you want to see yourself as and mentally see yourself as that person. And keep doing this every day, not just for the sake of tomorrow's presentation, because the more you are able to familiarize yourself as this person, the more you are going to find that it's becoming much more natural and seamless for you to interact with people every day and feel confident about yourself. I would so love to know the word that you chose for yourself. How do you see yourself on stage? Put it also in the comments below, because it's fun for us to all start to participate and encourage each other with our presentations as they happen. Okay, now don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, to make sure you subscribe below and ring the bell so that you get the following videos that I'm going to be sharing about how to become so confident and so articulate in your speaking that you will be excited about any presentations that come up. Now, I promised to give you an update on what happened with Rose, who had been shy and quiet, but had decided that she was going to be Brave Rose, and how she was able to stand in front of people and recite a funny poem and to do it so well. That was not the end of her story. A few weeks later, I ran into Rose's mom, and she told me that because she is homeschooled, she had a homeschool evaluator come and interview her and see how her school year had been. So her mom happened to be passing by when the two people were talking, and she overheard Rose saying to the evaluator, "Well, this year I took a public speaking class, which is why now I can speak to you." Her mom was so proud. She could not believe that now her daughter, who had been so shy and quiet, was so confident and poised to speak so articulately in front of an authority figure. This is what public speaking can do for you. You have to decide and be determined that there is more to you beyond your fear, and conquer it using the techniques that we've just talked about, and see how you can become a strong, articulate, and effective speaker. You can do it. And I truly hope that you practice all of the things that we talked about today, because the more you keep reminding yourself of what we have just discussed, the more you are going to feel emotionally and physically strong for your talk tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm so glad you joined me. Make sure you comment down below, first of all, that you said yes, and then secondly, what was the one characteristic you wanted to see yourself as a speaker? And here is to your success.